A man once scored 100 points in a single basketball game. That record is 63 years old. In those years, every NBA player has tried to get close. The closest anyone has come is 81. This video is about that gap, the space between 100 and everything else. The 10 men on this list did not just beat their opponents. They made their rivals feel like they were playing a different sport. These athletes turned rivalries into nightmares. They turned close games into psychological demolitions. Some did things so complete, so final, so one-sided, that the people on the receiving end spent years explaining what had happened to them. This is not a highlight reel. This is a reckoning. Subscribe now. By the time you reach number 1, you will have seen 10 men redefine what's possible on a basketball court. Number 10. Bill Russell, 11 championships in 13 years. First, consider where Bill Russell came from before what he achieved. Born in Monroe, Louisiana, in 1934, a place and time where a black man's ambitions were not just discouraged, but violently suppressed. The world Russell entered as a child had constructed every possible barrier between him and anything resembling greatness. By the time he retired in 1969, he had won 11 NBA championships in 13 seasons. That number, 11, is not just a record. It is a statement about the distance between Russell and every other professional athlete who has ever competed in a team sport in North America. No one is close. No one has ever been close. He averaged 22.5 rebounds per game across his entire career. He did not just block shots, he redirected them to teammates to start fast breaks, inventing a form of defensive intelligence that the game had never seen. His Boston Celtics won 8 consecutive championships from 1959 to 1966. No dynasty in North American professional sports has run longer. The rival he demolished most completely was Wilt Chamberlain, the most physically dominant scorer the game had ever produced. They met in the playoffs again and again. The most unstoppable offensive force in basketball history faced the most unpassable defensive wall the game had ever built. The wall won. Every time. Number 9. Wilt Chamberlain. The night the number was 100. March the 2nd, 1962. Hershey, Pennsylvania. A Tuesday night. No television cameras, no national broadcast, just a few thousand people in a minor league hockey arena watching Wilt Chamberlain do something that has not been repeated in 63 years, and, by every available analysis, will not be repeated in the next 63. He scored 100 points in one game against professional NBA defenders. In the same season, he averaged 50.4 points per game for the entire year. The second highest single-season scoring average in NBA history belongs to Wilt himself from a different year. Third place is not within 15 points of him. He also averaged 27.2 rebounds that same season. Defenders fouled out trying to guard him. Others simply stood near him and watched, understanding that nothing they had been taught applied to what they were looking at. He did not just beat opponents. He made the concept of a fair contest irrelevant. Number 8. Magic Johnson, the 20-year-old who started at center. Game 6, 1980 NBA Finals. The Lakers franchise player Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in Los Angeles with a sprained ankle, unable to travel to Philadelphia. The team sent a 20-year-old rookie in his place to close out the championship on the road. That rookie was Magic Johnson. He started at center, a position he had never played, against one of the best front courts in the league. He scored 42 points. He grabbed 15 rebounds. He added 7 assists. The Lakers won. Magic was named Finals MVP, the only rookie in NBA history to win that award. He is the only player ever to start a Finals game at all 5 positions. Think about what that means. Not just that, he was versatile. That he was so complete as a basketball player that the concept of a fixed position, a limitation everyone else in the sport accepted, simply did not apply to him. The 76ers did not lose that game. They were made irrelevant by a 20-year-old who had not yet decided what position he played. Number 7. Dikembe Mutombo, the man who came to study medicine. Dikembe Mutombo arrived in the United States from Kinshasa, Congo, on an academic scholarship. He was going to study medicine. The NBA found him first. In 1994, his Denver Nuggets were the 8th seed entering the playoffs, the lowest seed, the longest possible odds. Their opponent was the Seattle Supersonics, who had won 63 games that season, the best record in the Western Conference. Every analyst, every expert, every number said Denver had no chance. Mutombo ended the series in 5 games. The Nuggets won, only the second time in NBA history that an 8 seed had eliminated a 1 seed. When the final buzzer sounded in Game 5, Mutombo collapsed to the floor, pulled the ball to his chest, and lay there weeping. It is one of the most emotionally unguarded images in the history of professional sport. A 7'2" man, tears streaming, holding a basketball like it was something sacred. He finished his career with 3,289 blocked shots, the all-time NBA record. His finger wag after rejections became the most recognizable defensive gesture in basketball. And with his own money, not a foundation, not a charity initiative, his own money, he built a $29 million hospital in Kinshasa, named after his mother, who had died partly from lack of access to the medical care he had originally come to America to provide. He wiped out rivals on the court. He wiped out something larger off of it. Number 6. Shaquille O'Neal, the mismatch the league had no answer for. From 2000 to 2002, the NBA ran out of solutions. Shaquille O'Neal, 7 feet 1 inch, 325 pounds, moving with the lateral speed of a player half his size, created a physical problem that no team's roster could solve. Centers fouled out trying to contain him. Smaller defenders were physically crushed. The league invented the phrase hack a Shaq, a strategy of intentionally fouling him at every opportunity, because stopping him in basketball was not possible. Fouling him was the best available option, and it was not good enough either. 3 consecutive championships. 3 consecutive Finals MVP awards. No player in NBA history has won Finals MVP in 3 straight years. The 2001 playoff run, 15 wins and 1 loss, remains the most dominant single postseason in NBA history. Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Alonzo Mourning. Every elite center of that era stepped into his path and was removed from it, not narrowly, completely. Number 5, Kobe Bryant, 55 points in 1 half. January 22, 2006, Los Angeles versus Toronto. At halftime, the Lakers trailed by 14 points. Kobe Bryant then scored 55 points in the second half alone. Final score, Lakers 122, Raptors 104. Kobe's total, 81 points, the second highest individual scoring performance in NBA history, behind only Wilt's 100. The Raptors threw double teams, they changed schemes, they trapped every entry pass. He shot 28 for 46 from the field, not desperation, not volume shooting, not luck, efficiency. He found the shot that was available and made it, 55 times in 1 half. In his final NBA game at age 37, he scored 60 points, shooting on an aging body against full defensive attention, and walked off the Staples Center floor for the last time. He played his last game exactly the way he played every game before it, until the opponent was gone. Number 4, Allen Iverson, 165 pounds against the Dynasty. 2001 NBA Finals. The Philadelphia 76ers were underdogs in every possible sense, facing Shaq and Kobe's Dynasty Lakers in the middle of their three-peat. Allen Iverson stood 6 feet tall and weighed 165 pounds. He scored 48 points. The 76ers won Game 1 in overtime, 107-101, the only finals game the Lakers lost in the entire three-peat run. Iverson had single-handedly beaten the most dominant team in the league on the biggest stage. Then came the step-over. He crossed Tyronn Lue, hit the jumper, and stepped directly over Lue's fallen body, one of the most defining images of individual defiance in finals history. It was not trash talk. It was not a theater. It was a small man in a big moment communicating something in the clearest possible language. That season, Iverson averaged 31.1 points per game to win the league MVP. He changed not just how basketball was played, but how it looked, bringing braids, tattoos, hip-hop culture, and the streets into the mainstream of the NBA in a way that permanently altered the identity of the league. He did not fit the template. He rewrote it. Number 3, LeBron James, 20 feet in 2.5 seconds. June 19, 2016. Game 7, NBA Finals. Cleveland against Golden State, a team that had won 73 games in the regular season, the most in NBA history. The Cavaliers were chasing the most impossible comeback in finals history. Down 3-1, no team had ever come back to win. With 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining, Andre Iguodala broke free ahead of the play with a clear path to the basket. The game was about to end. LeBron James was behind the play. He covered 20 feet in 2.5 seconds and pinned Iguodala's layup against the backboard from behind. One of the most explosive, precise defensive acts in the history of sport. The Cavaliers won. Cleveland had its championship. And the greatest comeback in finals history was complete. LeBron averaged more points, rebounds, and assists than any player on either team in those finals, more than anyone on the team that had won 73 games. He has reached the finals 10 times with 3 different franchises. He is the NBA's all-time leading scorer, the first player in history to surpass 40,000 career points. He did not just reach the mountaintop. He reached it so many times, from so many different starting points, that the mountain itself seems to have moved toward him. Number 2, Michael Jordan, The Flu Game, June 11th, 1997. Game 5, NBA Finals, Salt Lake City. Michael Jordan had spent the entire night before the game unable to keep food or water down. He arrived at the arena barely able to walk. His teammates were prepared to play without their best player. Jordan played 44 minutes. He scored 38 points, including a go-ahead three-pointer in the final minutes that the Utah Jazz, watching him barely stay on his feet, still could not stop. After the buzzer, he leaned entirely on Scottie Pippen just to remain upright. The Bulls won Game 5. They won the championship in Game 6. 6 championships, 6 finals MVPs, 0 finals losses. Every rival who faced him in June understood something that opponents had described in consistent terms across his career. That facing Jordan was a different psychological experience from facing anyone else. Not the belief that he might beat you, the knowledge that he would, and the helplessness of watching it begin before you could stop it. Number 1, Michael Jordan, The Last Shot, June 14th, 1998. Game 6, NBA Finals. The Chicago Bulls trailed the Utah Jazz by 3 points with 41 seconds remaining. Jordan stole the ball from Karl Malone, one of the most powerful forwards the game had ever produced, with pure anticipation, not athleticism, anticipation. He had seen it before Malone knew he was going to do it. He drove the length of the court. He reached Bryon Russell. He pump-faked Russell completely off his feet, sent him airborne, to the floor, out of the moment. He stepped back. He released a 20-foot jump shot with 5.2 seconds remaining. The ball fell through the net without touching the rim. Bulls 87, Jazz 86. 6th championship in 8 years. Jordan stood in the center of the Delta Center floor with his right arm extended, watching the ball fall. A pose so specific, so perfectly held, that it became one of the most reproduced athletic images in human history. It was the last basket he ever scored as a Chicago Bull. The final possession of the final dynasty game. Steal, drive, pump fake, fadeaway, net. Completed in one sequence, in front of the entire watching world, with the title on the line. Karl Malone had spent a decade trying to win a championship. Jordan stole it from his hands, literally, in the moment it was closest to him. That is not a basketball story. That is the complete definition of wiped out. 10 men. 6 decades. Moments that did not just win games but ended arguments. About what was possible. About what a human body could do. About what rivalry even means when one side refuses to recognize any limit. Every name on this list was told at some point in some form that what they wanted was out of reach. That the record could not be broken. The dynasty could not be beaten. That the team was too big, too fast, too strong, too established. Every single one of them answered in the only language that cannot be argued with, the scoreboard. Which moment hit you the hardest? Is Wilt 100? LeBron's block? Jordan's last shot? Mutombo weeping on the floor? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe, because the next countdown goes even deeper into the moments that rewrote the sport.